You need to grow up.
Hello, YouTube. So I'm on a mission to replace my lizard's heat lamp. I want to say Lily's lizards, but she's kind of abandoned them at this point. And I'm not even 100% sure if they're the same lizards that they were when Lily was still in my home every day. There's been, I don't know, they only live so long, and every time one has died, it's gotten replaced within a certain period of time. I mean, not that I've ever tried to hide that, from Lily. Like, oh yeah, I've never, like, I know of parents that have done that sort of thing with pets, where a pet has died and they've got a replacement, and they've tried to pass off the replacement as the previous pet. And yeah, I've never tried to shield Lily from that. I do believe it's important that children, even young children, understand that death is a part of life and that everything dies eventually. Wow, this suddenly got really morbid and dark, didn't it? That is not what I was trying to talk about. Although I did definitely want to talk about the fact that I'm on a mission to get a heat lamp. It is 8:20 p.m. Wednesday evening. I believe it is August 18th, 2021. So the parking lot I just left, that is the Arcadia, I think it's called the Arcadia Town Center. As long as I've lived by that spot, you'd think I would know the name of the shopping center. And God knows I've been going there for years before I lived there. In my mind, it's Thomas Mall. I just have this thing in my head where, like, when I learn the name of a place, like, it's just that place. It's just how my brain is wired. And it's the strip. Like, I know it has a name, and I think it's Arcadia, or maybe it's Arcadia Crossing. I know it's Arcadia something. And in my mind, since the day they broke ground on it, it's been the strip mall where, in my mind, it is the strip mall where Thomas Mall was. And for those who don't know, that's where the Thomas Mall used to be. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that malls are dying, and that older malls, were dying before even the whole malls are dying trend happened. New malls get built, the business that went to older malls and the anchor stores that were at the older malls tend to shift to the newer malls, and then those older malls die. That's been a recurring theme as long as there's been malls. Thomas Mall closed a long time ago. It was definitely after I was a cab driver. Thomas Mall was still a thing when I was a cab driver, but most of my memories, Thomas Mall are from prior to that, when I was a child and a teenager in Phoenix. And that's not a mall I regularly went to, really, ever. But it seems like it closed, I want to say 93. Now, there was a time I had a girlfriend that lived with me for quite some time in my early 20s, who I'm looking back at different women that I've lived with and been an item with. If there was any one woman I previously dated that I feel was like the love of my life, I really need to clean this fence. This is just ridiculous. What do you think? What's a good angle for it? You like that? All right. So anyway, yeah, if I was to name, one specific woman that I dated that was the love of my life and the be all of, like, God, I think I found my soulmate and I fucked that up, it'd probably be Tracy. I don't believe I've ever felt that kind of a love for a woman before or since. and it's not fair to the woman I've dated since. It wasn't fair to my wife. It's certainly not fair to the woman I'm dating and frequently complain about now. But it is what it is, and every time I kind of get together with a woman, I usually tell them, from the get-go, and have been, pretty much since Tracy, that I'm in that aspect, I'm broken, and there's a part of me that's a part of me that's probably never going to really heal, and if they insist on dating me after that warning and disclaimer, it's on them. There you go. Frequently I'm told, well, you don't care. I'm like, well, no, I care as much as I'm capable of caring. Care is a relative term. It's not like, to say that I don't care means that I absolutely have zero care, but if I have a little bit of care, then I still care. I mean, it's like the saying, I could care less. Well, then that does mean that you care. Because if you could care less, then it means you still care a little bit. Whereas if you say I couldn't care less, then you don't care. And I care about a lot of things. Now, the degree to which I care about them, that's another subject entirely. And I do care about my lizards. I don't care deeply about my lizards, not nearly as much as I care about my cats. At this point, I don't care enough to name them, and that's kind of a callous thing on me. But at this point, it's a matter of I've had so many lizards that I've named, and as I try to name it, I end up trying to remember all the lizards I've had. At this point, it's too many, so it's just easier to just call them lizards. I feel weird that I have pets that don't really have names anymore. And that's further complicated by the fact that the original lizards were named Lizard and Other Lizard. But anyway. But I do care a little bit. I certainly care enough to make sure that they have a functioning heatland. And I was going to take care of this after I got back from Bullocks this morning, but when I got back from Bullocks, I was just absolutely beat tired. I did not shoot video on the ride back. I feel like I'm putting out more than anybody would ever care to watch. So yeah, I just feel like, I'm making too much content. I should just stop. and then on top of that, it was like I really didn't have anything to say, and I was tired, and just doing my damnedest to focus on the wet, rainy road, which of course requires extra focus because people drive like shit here, and that is heavily amplified every time it rains. So, which has been a lot this summer. It's been the wettest summer I can ever remember in my 50 years of being here in the valley. So anyway, I kind of messed up. And as I had mentioned in my little sleepy I just woke up video, the last vlog, I was waiting to see if the significant other would climb in bed with me, since I think just going and camping in front of my TV not an option, and she did, and without just going into oversharing, which I've been oversharing like on these things since square one, but it's bedroom fun-ish happened. I'm mildly I'm still generally unsatisfied with the level of what happened, but that just is what it is. But we had good, at least good. It was time we spent together that was mostly good, as opposed to lately there's been a lot of time spent together that's not good at all. So or just more often than not, just me not simply wanting to be there, so I'm not spending time that's not good. And I just realized I got off an exit sooner than I should have. Sometimes that happens when I'm focused more on talking or focused more on my music than I am navigating to my destination. But I'm going in the right general direction because, as I've mentioned before, navigating is something that I kind of do at a subconscious level. And I know that sounds really weird, and I mean, most people have to think very consciously about navigating, and I think the average person at this point is so bad at doing that most of the time they use a GPS device. They would have their phone where my phone is right now, but with the little Google voice telling them, turn left at Rio Salado Parkway. Drive forward 1.5 miles. I don't know. I'm probably doing a terrible imitation of what it says because I just absolutely have never used any of those sorts of things. I find them incredibly annoying and creepy. And to me, that's something that everybody's brain should be capable of. And if they're using that, and they have a fully capable brain, to me, that's like a person that has 2 fully functional legs being in a wheelchair. Learn how to use your legs, man. Anyway, I am headed to PetSmart because I screwed up, and even though I live right next to a Petco and I regularly go into that Petco and I'm on the bonus points rewards program at Petco, they close at 8 o'clock and I got out of the apartment after 8. So, but as I mentioned in the last vlog, I really wanted to be laying in bed waiting for her when she got off work to see if that was something that appealed to her, and at least appealed to her enough that she came and joined me for some time. So, in fact, I think she's making me a worthwhile dinner right now, so that's something. I'm not sure, and I could have tested this at home using other lamps and other bulbs and other outlets, but I figure I'll see if I can get some actual customer service out of the customer service people at the pet store. But I'm not sure if it's the lamp that is broken this time or if it's the bulb that has gone out. Because I've had times where the lamps have broken, I've had times where the bulbs have gone out. And I'm completely capable, just for the record, I'm completely capable of repairing and fixing the lamp, and at some point I won't throw that away. I will, yeah, I'm a hoarder. I will keep that, but not just strictly to hoard it, but I will genuinely either fix it or I will use those parts to repair something else. And there's a voice in my head that just screamed, no, you won't, you're a hoarder. But, and it's possible it just might go into the pile and I might never get around to it. But I do genuinely, when I need something like that, I do genuinely, when I have time, go into my broken ones and try to repair one. And I do use the parts for my broken ones to fix other broken ones. And if nothing else, I'm very likely to cut it, take the cord out or cut it near it, out from the lamp fixture itself, and use the remaining cord as a put a outlet on it and turn it into an extension cord. In fact, I just realized this cord has got a hear the clicky? Can't really see it, but there's a click on, off, and dimmer, which I believe is a completely analog. In other words, it won't work on a. Oh, nice headlights, dude. Yeah, keep driving with your headlights off. That's awesome. That guy's gonna wonder why he got pulled over. I actually had a police officer one time tell me that the number one reason that he pulls over people, his probable cause for pulling over people when he gives DUIs, is them driving with their headlights off. And I mean, that's just incidental, one officer telling me that, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if that is the number one reason that people get pulled over. The probable cause, like why they got pulled over when they get DUIs. So drunk you forgot to turn on your headlights. Anyway, yeah, so I really do recycle those things, and the fact so I was talking about dimmers. Yeah, there's basically 2 kinds of dimmers. There's the traditional dimmer, which just basically fluctuates the level of voltage. Honestly, I'm showing my ignorance here. I'm not an electrical engineer. My buddy and yeah, I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm a high school dropout. but I know a little something, but a lot of times my information is kind of incomplete. So I'm not sure if it varies the, I'd have to Google it to find out for sure. I'm not sure if it varies the voltage or the amperage, but at any rate, that's a potentiometer in there, or that's a style of potentiometer that will adjust the voltage or the amperage. And the ones that are compatible, I'm willing to bet money that one is absolutely not compatible with an LED bulb, even a dimmable LED bulb. I'm reasonably sure this will only work with incandescent bulbs. All heat lamps for reptiles will be incandescent bulbs. I guess you can't really kind of see it. I always bring the box so I know a little bit more on what I'm getting the right one and the right strength. But yeah, all heat lamps for reptiles are incandescent bulbs, and obviously this is the correct dimmer for that, because this was this particular light I bought from a pet store for the sole purpose of heating. That's what they're selling it for. There, it's for the sole purpose of heating reptiles. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. If it turns out that the lamp is no good, I do intend to keep it, and I'll find some kind of good use for it. Which will likely have nothing to do with lizards. I'll either use it for lighting, with the understanding that I can't use it with a dimmable. LED light, or I will use it with a what do you call it? A random Reddit message. I got some Stark waiting for me on Reddit. I don't know, one thing I've never really incorporated into my karaoke or my DJing, and I feel like it's something I should. It's something that most people have. I mean, I've incorporated it a little bit, but I've never really delved into it, and that's lighting. There's some lighting that I use at Bullock's, but that's just because it's there. I've contributed nothing to that lighting, and I've actually had shows where I've completely forgot to turn it on because it's just like not part of what I do, but it should be part of what I do, and I've been keenly aware of that since I was a teenager, and noticed that sometimes when people would get hired to do high school dances, which was like my primary clientele as a teenage DJ, that some DJs they hired up had these fancy spotlights that they put above them, and and had lighting, and I never did. But I also quickly found that I was getting 90% of those gigs in spite of the fact that I didn't have that lighting. So obviously to most people that was not important. And often when I would meet with whoever was doing that, I would state that I didn't do lighting, and then whoever the decoration, whether it was the FBLA or the student council or whichever group was putting together that dance, they would tell them that y'all know I don't have lighting, and at that point they it didn't take long until everyone knew I had no lighting, and it would just the lighting would end up falling on whoever was doing the decorations for the dance. So, and like right now, like I didn't hire me to do lighting at Bullock's. That's falling on the bar. Bar provides that. I try to remember to turn it on. Anyway, on that note, I need to get my ass in the pet shop and get this handled. But I really am not hoarding this for the sake of hoarding this. I do intend to use this lamp, the remnants of this lamp, if it is broken. And I do believe there'd be a lot less waste in the world, and we would be doing a lot less damage to our planet if everybody made an effort to do that with their broken things.